Welcome to the video. This is NFL Broadcaster covering why you should fear the Packers in the 2020 season. Enjoy. In 2019, the Packers had the 6th ranked offensive line in the NFL. They were first in average time to pressure to the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers had an average of 2.62 seconds. With veteran presence in the offensive line like David Bakhtiari and Brian Beluga, they were doing pretty well. Center Corey Linsley went down, and so he got replaced by rookie guard Elkton Jenkins, and he actually had an astonishing, amazing rookie season, and he ranked, I think, 3rd overall in rookie. Now, in 2020, the Packers will lose Brian Beluga, but they signed 30-year-old offensive tackle Ricky Wagner, who's a really nice pickup. They're going to have more time to pass the wide receiver who's newly acclaimed in 2020, Devin Funchess, and I think he's going to be freaking amazing in Green Bay. People are not giving this pickup enough credit, and here's some highlights for him. He's not the fastest wide receiver in the league, but he can break open a route, and he makes really good contested catches. You can tell right there, he just jumps up and fights for a catch. Makes one guy miss, makes a catch in traffic, nice concentration, and then he hangs on with a nice contested catch. When he catches the ball, he fights for extra yards, and that's something I really like about him. And I think people are not giving him enough credit for going to the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a really nice weapon in Devin Funchess. I think he's going to trust a nice veteran wide receiver. He's going to make a nice compliment to number 1 wide receiver Davante Adams. One more thing I really like about Devin Funchess is when he jumps up and makes a catch, any catch, you can tell he just hauls it in. Once it hits his hands, he just like jerks it to his body, and that's something that every wide receiver should really focus on. Like he catches and he just pulls it away. He makes sure that no one else can grab it. He pulls it away. It reminds me a lot of Julio Jones. And the guy is huge, and I think he's got a great build, and he's so underrated. He just had a few rough seasons. He's still young, and he's got tons of talent, and I think it's an extremely underrated pickup for the Green Bay Packers. He's going to do really well in Green Bay. That only scratches the surface of what this offense is going to be capable of, especially with Aaron Jones at running back. The Packers ranked 3rd overall in passing defense, and they actually averaged a 59.7% completion rate in the secondary, which was 3rd in the NFL. I think it's an extremely underrated secondary, and they've really turned it around. Their turnover rate is 3rd in the NFL last year, and I think it's just going to continue to rise, especially with standout rookie Darnell Savage, and you got upcoming stars like Rashawn Gary. Not to mention in 2019, you also had the newly acquired Smith brothers, who just provided tons of pressure on the quarterbacks and created a lot of turnovers themselves. Darnell Savage in 17 completions, he had a 56.7 quarterback completion percentage allowed, with only 197 yards allowed against him on the season, which is outstanding for a rookie in the NFL. He's an up-and-coming star for the Packers. He had a total of 55 combined tackles, and I think the MTKL percentage is missed tackles, so he only missed an average of 12.7% of his tackles. I don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of statistics, but they believe that 2019 draftee pick Rashawn Gary is going to be pretty good in the upcoming seasons. They seem to have a lot of confidence in him, so expect a lot of more production and a lot more playing time from Rashawn Gary. Not to mention that in 2019, Rashawn Gary only played an average of like 25% of his defensive snaps. It may have been lower than that, but his highest game of percentage of snaps played was 36%, and that was in week 3. So besides that, the guy really has not seen the field very much. Now, obviously, the Packers have some major holes on the defense because they ranked 10th worst in the NFL last season in rush defense, which has always been an issue for them. but honestly, I hope that just gets better and better with the improvement of our young players. Not to mention in the backfield for our secondary, we have young cornerbacks, Kevin King, Jari Alexander. We have Josh Jackson to back them up, which I think Jackson should be getting more playing time because he's honestly extremely great. We have Adrian Amos and so many other talented defensive backs right now. I think the Packers are actually getting really set on defense. Moving on to the special teams and kicker Mason Crosby, he only had 24 attempts on the season and field goals. So you can see there on that list that we're like almost dead last in. I would really like for our offense to get more productive. This way Mason Crosby has more attempts and field goals, because I think we were just dead last almost because of how many attempts he had. So not because of his accuracy, but how many attempts that he actually had to try and make a field goal. With a more productive offense next season, hopefully he can score more points for us, and that's the goal, really. These are just some reasons that I think the Packers are going to be feared in 2020. They're going to be one of those under-the-radar teams because after last season, people are not going to be that scared of them, especially with the offensive production and how everything was. But you know what? That was the first year with the new head coach. Year 2 with the new head coach and Matt LaFleur, I think they're going to be okay. They're going to be all right. And they drafted some nice running backs. They drafted some more defensive players, and I think they have a lot of development and a lot of skills on the defense. Their offensive line is still pretty good, even after losing Brian Beluga. I would fear the Packers in 2020. These are just small reasons why. There's tons of reasons, but I could go on all day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the social media. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave your comments below on what you liked about this video. Later.